everyone here to the $300 minimum 44 variant here on January 4th. Here we're hopping into our first quarterfinal of the night between EvilWithin and NoName. Of course, myself, Lando Sanders, live here from the Unity Studio, joined alongside by Jen, aka Lemon Kiwi. And Jen, we are starting things off with a friend of yours, someone that you've obviously casted over quite a bit, being the very talented dreamcrazzy. Tell me a little bit about her and your thoughts are on this map number one.
Well, I'm super excited. And for anybody who doesn't know what dreamcrazzy is, she's probably one of the top female players in the community and also a repeating female Pro League champion. So she's got a lot of money under her belt and she's probably got a lot of bragging rights. But she's teaming with 3 dudes here for this UMG tournament where EvilWithin here will be on the red side, currently in the advantage, where the Hill here is currently on the cave side, only about 30 seconds left. Currently in control here of EvilWithin, while NoName are still working on this min-map control and will eventually decide to go towards the ruin side for the second rotation.
Definitely. And two things that I'm kind of pointing out off the break that I see as Cade does kind of come to a closing is that we see the Phantomz being brought out along with quite a few FG42s, and this is a group who I've been casting over quite a bit, being the new EvilWithin group, who just now actually announced that they are partnered and organized, obviously, with EvilWithin GG. But this is a overall team that I've been able to see in a number of different tournaments, and they really kind of succeeded with the FG meta. And to see them kind of pull out those early on is not, I don't want to say surprising, but with, of course, the BAR, the STG now being kind of like the main ARs of choice. It's interesting that we're seeing 2 different weapons kind of being chosen, one from the AR category as the FG, and from the SMG, the Phantomz.
Yeah, very interesting weapon choices from both teams. NoName finally able to get some points on the board with current control here over Ruins. Now sending players over to the middle of the map. It's going to be Phantomz and Glorias that are going to be trying to hold this middle map part and hopefully infiltrate Ruins here. 24 seconds left. Eventually, they're going to want to head into some rotations through the bunker side. Some nice grenade kills out of ProFeeZy to take dreamcrazzy, gassing her up. Nonetheless, bunker here will be spawning in here 10 seconds, where if you look at the overview here, EvilWithin have sent all 3 members here, but Fate, Hazard, and Counter gonna have a tough task of keeping it.
Yeah, and the one thing that when it kind of comes down to this particular fight is who has spawn control. Once Phantomz should drop here, those spawns could change up, but he finds 2 big kills in the back lines. Player number 6, ProFeeZy, trying to join alongside of him, and while Phantomz does fall in that scenario, they quite literally might have the spawns. That was a point where we were looking at and saying, well, who has the preferred fight? For the most part, it was EvilWithin because they had players kind of lingering toward back bunker, but NoName isn't able to find the kills necessary. Phantomz finds 2, and with that, he holds on to spawns for his team, and now they have the advantage when it comes down to things. But Fate Hazard ends up finding 2. Glory ends up responding with 2 of his own. As back and forth we go inside a bunker. Many would consider this the money hill when it comes down to this particular map. And it looks like teams obviously treating it very seriously, as Hazard will be there for the trade. Finds 3 in total, as the hill will start to come to a close. It looks like there will be a 1v1 battle potentially between player number 5 and player number 3, but it looks like Phantomz does get traded out, and his bunker does come to a close. It looks like a little bit of nice time coming in from the guys on NoName, as at least off the break, Hazard starting off 11 and 8 for a number of different huge kills when it came down to bunker, and definitely the reason why we see the guys on NoName and the girls in pretty close fashion right now.
Yeah, NoName had to start to gain back an advantage over on Ruins, but in bunker it was EvilWithin really holding the majority of the spawns, and although it was Fate who got double kill after double kill, so taking out 50% of the team of EvilWithin, they were not able to get the preferable spawns and then sustain the numbers inside the hills, so they got a little bit of time there. Only about a 10 seconds separates these 2 teams, as we are currently on East Road in favor here of EvilWithin, where NoName are getting these left side and bunker spawns, so a little bit more of an advantageous position. But look at that, Nihill nading his own teammate. That's not the most helpful thing to happen.
And I'm kind of surprised that maybe it's just for the hill. I haven't really been able to look at Nihill's perspective too much, but he's actually rocking the SMG, and this is by no means the role for this man when it comes down to this particular group on EvilWithin. He's more of the FG kind of player in the past, and I'm not sure maybe if the BAR just doesn't treat him too kindly, and that's the reason why he has the PPSH out, but for some reason puts on the silencer, trying to be all quiet and whatnot. But regardless, kind of surprising plays to see, as last hill does come to a close. Now the second set of rotations are up, and Nihill quite literally playing sneak attack on the flank. Does take out one on Hazard. Give me the second one onto dreamcrazzy, and a little bit of a collapse coming in from NoName, as Nihill quite literally has spoiled the party, finding 3 on the flank, and with that he's also going to hop inside of the hard point. I mean, granted, obviously the silencer was just kind of a metaphor, but quite literally coming on the flank and being incredibly sneaky totally shuts down that play from NoName, as the pinch comes in by 1 man.
This is where EvilWithin are really taking off in terms of the objective time. NoName have kept it about a 10-second game at all times, but finally, EvilWithin taking away 30 points or more, and see if NoName can get a little bit of the scrap time. This will once again make it about a 10-second game, but we got to head into Ruin's side, and if you look at here, it's going to be dreamcrazzy already occupying that high ground advantage in Counterscale, and now JPSicko is going to be onto this middle control area, but now they just need to hold Ruins, where ProFeeZy and Phantomz coming through the bottom side, and look at this pinch here from the side of NoName, but all the kills are now in favor here of EvilWithin as they take over the hill. Although NoName had a fantastic setup here on Ruins, it was the pinch coming in from all angles on EvilWithin, winning the gunfights they needed, and now extending their lead even more.
You see 3 players kind of focusing a lot of that attention toward Ruins. It's a very popular place to try to break this hard point, but Glory actually nearly takes out his teammate. Had a nice shot there onto ProFeeZy, I believe, but regardless, Glory locking things down alongside of his counterpoints, and basically no man's land is what they're entering into, is Glory combining for a few more. Has got full streaks to work with, currently on a 6 spree, and locking down some free time on Ruins. The streaks coming from above, most likely from Nihill, as it looks like they will shut down dreamcrazzy coming through that cave side. So rotation now off of Ruins, now focusing the attention toward Bunker, and it's really going to have to be a difficult fight that we're going to have to see NoName trying to make forward, because if they don't have early hill control, at least early kind of map positioning considered, it's going to be a rough road for them to try to make their way through that forest, just because of how open that kind of area is and the head glitches that you can kind of sit on. This is a bad news if you are NoName right now. Have to get a flank forward, and Glory is fully aware of that as dreamcrazzy drops. Unless they can kind of force their way through the hard point, this is going to be a difficult task for the guys and the girl on NoName.
Yeah, very difficult task for NoName, and they keep coming through the top side of bunkering, always going through the hill rather than around it. They never have had spawn control here on bunker, and although they're getting all the kills, or even sometimes some nice doubles or triple kills inside of bunker, EvilWithin are spawning so close, they're able to flood into it, and there you go, clean up dreamcrazzy. Counterscale coming from behind. This could be huge here for NoName. They are 80 points or 90 points behind, and they need to have a full control here of bunker, and now heading into East Road. You see EvilWithin are now cleaning up the kill feed, and they should have some good middle map control heading into the next hill, but NoName are so far behind. It's going to be a tough task for them, and they need to turn up.
Yeah, when it comes into East Road, this is not really a hard point where normally you can get a lot of free seconds on. I think off like the break, normally you're going to have quite a bit of difficulties. Nades can be tossed within like 3 seconds off spawn from either bridge or back bunker, so with that in consideration, Hazard continuing to light it up when it comes down to certain streaks. He does find 2 big ones inside of the hill. Despite streaks being tossed onto that hard point, Hazard will end up falling as time continues to go the way of EvilWithin, to no really massive surprise, of course, to see this particular group doing well in hardpoint. We're going to see if NoName can try to get some contention, maybe even some time as that, as JPSicko is able to at least find one, gets the tag on the second, so the hardpoint is open for business, and NoName quickly trying to grab that one in as ProFeeZy finds one. dreamcrazzy finding 2 big kills, and JP finds the third. Keeping in mind those spawns toward back bridge, as the last few seconds are going to fade away, but they can kind of keep these guys from EvilWithin in this back bridge position. They can lock down some early seconds onto cave and maybe even bring themselves back into this match.
Teams that NoName are always in a number disadvantage, and if you look at the kills, everybody here on NoName is negative, and even EvilWithin have had many streaks to completely wipe NoName from the hill and at least change their positioning, so it makes it hard to rotate into it. But with sort of a 60-point and growing disadvantage here for NoName, they're going to have to need several full hill holes to even make this a close game, and the kills are not going their way, the objective time is not going their way. Even though they're rotating early, they can't stay alive long enough in the hill to capitalize on any of the time or even any of the double kills that Fate has been doing. So really struggling here in the kill department, NoName, but EvilWithin really punishing the other team by reining in streaks whenever they can. Heading into Ruin's side now, dreamcrazzy will be the first one here for NoName, and she's going to get quickly cleaned up by ProFeeZy and Nihill, who also cleans up JPSicko coming from the mid-map. So EvilWithin really commanding this hard point.
And I think at least when we've seen the rotation be made toward Ruins, I know you've been kind of calling out dreamcrazzy kind of being on that rotation. It seems as if she's kind of by herself in these situations. Granted, it's kind of like a 2 versus 2, but it's an early 1 versus 2 fight that she finds herself in. She doesn't really have a whole lot of support to be there. So it's kind of like a back-to-back 1 versus 2 fight, and of course with the overall sling advantage that we gotta imagine EvilWithin already possess. I mean, already limiting yourself, as Glory finds 2 there with the streaks, I mean, already limiting yourself in a 1 versus 2 fight on rotation is going to be difficult. So I think what we can kind of take from this match, at least so far, is the lead is obviously in the way of EvilWithin off the break, is ProFeeZy, and all 4 start to fall from NoName, has really kind of been the rotation battle, and how the kind of rotations have been made. It's obviously been made earlier from NoName, but they haven't really had a whole lot of support. It's kind of been like the factor of 3 players kind of at least lingering around that old hill and only having one either rotating, or the one who's rotating is either way farther pushed up than the other person who's also trying to be on the rotation as well. So I think that's definitely kind of ruined their chances of trying to maybe pull off an upset, but the game is still possible to make a comeback on. But like I said, speaking on rotations, Counterscale finds a big one onto Nihill and trying to take out Phantomz as well. Phantomz has no issue whatsoever. They're waiting for a teammate to help along with that fight, or to just try and stay alive for as long as he possibly can. Glory lingering here through Fire Alley, does take out one. Nades raining through, last second going down, and yes, just like that, map number 1 will end 250 to 152. A valiant fight from NoName, but regardless, like I said, we kind of talked about the rotation battle. Definitely was won quite a bit at the time from EvilWithin, and despite that, though, we see Hazard here in one of the first set of rotations on Bunker. This was kind of the guy who we were kind of discussing throughout this map here, Jen, who was kind of keeping things up from NoName, kind of being and kind of contesting around that hill. Definitely they had some opportunities where they were either up in the game or definitely kind of keeping it close, but when it comes down to hardpoint, especially in Call of Duty, it's about consistency, and that's exactly what we see here in the final scorecard from the guys on EvilWithin.
Exactly. Look at the scorecard here. Nihill and Glorious both dropping pretty much a 40 bomb. And on the other side, you got Fate, who was close to 30, and JPSicko as well. But nonetheless, it was really NoName always fighting for the scrap time. That's why they always had dreamcrazzy, the only one rotating towards the other hill, where she's always caught in a 1v2, 1v3, while as EvilWithin only had to keep like 1 player to contest the old hill. And they could give up that scrap time. They were in an 80-point advantage halfway through the game, where they could early rotate with 3 players and get the initial control. And then losing dreamcrazzy early in the rotation means that NoName had to now try and break the hill with 3, and then there's a miscoordination of how many people you're sending to break the hill, always either 2 or 3, where EvilWithin clearly were winning 90% of the gunfights, having 2 players drop 40 bombs, doubling the kills from everybody on NoName. So sort of a very dominant performance out of EvilWithin, maybe because it might be because they move more as a unit, always 3 or 4, always 3 players breaking a hill, 3 players rotating to a hill. So always in a 3v1 or 2v1 situation for EvilWithin means they're winning most of their gunfights. And with a scoreline of 250 to 152, that's a pretty bad beating. Yeah,
it's a pretty convincing win, to say the least. But, of course, I think it's fair to say, kind of coming into this match, we're definitely kind of favoring the guys on EvilWithin to most likely dominate when it comes down to the respawns. But now focusing our attention towards some search and destroy, it will be on USS Texas, at least from my opinion, being able to watch the EvilWithin guys kind of play in the past. 2 guys to me to be looking out for, and I think we've actually cast over this exact guy together, Jen, especially in search and destroy tournaments, has been Glory. This guy with a sniper rifle can absolutely take over a map, and when it comes to a map that definitely prefers and kind of increases that sniper rifle play, you got to imagine that this guy is pretty excited when it comes down to map number 2, which will be obviously here on USS Texas. Another guy to be looking out for on EvilWithin is going to be ProFeeZy. The other sub to this entire lineup is also going to be lingering inside of middle ship, and obviously cause a number of different problems. So I think when it comes down to EvilWithin, I think they're feeling pretty confident coming into USS Texas. However, it definitely can kind of play spoils. If you do dominate when it comes down to the first bloods, finding that one in midship, using your maybe tacticals, lethals effectively, like smokes, etc., you can get the bomb down, kind of work from there on offense. But I think generally from EvilWithin's position, they've got 2 guys who definitely kind of dominate and prefer the roles that do succeed most of the time on this map, which is that SMG control up close and the snipers at range in both ProFeeZy and Glory. Welcome back. It is the $300 minimum 44 variant here on January 4th. It's NoName versus EvilWithin GG, who obviously just took map number 1 in pretty dominant fashion there in Armed Forest, 250 to just 152. A lot of numbers being thrown at you, but keeping in mind, we are now hopping in here toward our second map of this best of 3 series, and of course joined alongside by the ever fantastic Jen, aka Lemon Kiwi. Jen, we're looking here at some USS Texas between both of these teams, as it looks like NoName trying to get back in this series overall after a pretty diminishing loss, kind of a big defeat when it kind of comes down to things as far as confidence. But dreamcrazzy quickly left in a 1 versus 3, takes up ProFeeZy on the flank, and while being on the offense is definitely put at a disadvantage in total, while also not having the man count in her favor. We'll see what she can try to do as she also picks off Glory. One more player left in her way as Phantomz starting to play more defense as realizing where the bomb most likely is positioned. But dreamcrazzy having to kind of cut the map in two, trying to cut her way forward, but can't grab the bomb with a successful escape as she drops in a near 1 versus 3, gets put down the drain.
That was so close. 1 versus 3, make it a 1 versus 2, but very nice positioning out of Phantomz. Knows where the bomb was and knows she was going to go for it. And, I mean, there's so many spots to check, and she obviously did not expect that player to be there. Nonetheless, first defensive round win 2, EvilWithin, where now NoName will be back onto the defense, but let's spectate here the offense, how they're going to deal with this. And I know you've been checking out Glorio's and the sniper plays. Now he's going to have the role of having the bomb and also dropping that 40 bomb into the hard point. He's been having a pretty impressive performance. Let's see if he can find some shots. Looks like they're aiming towards the B-bomb site. Gets sights here onto dreamcrazzy, and I think she knows very well a sniper is going to be aiming down her sights.
Yeah, and you see that cover fire coming in from Gloria. It's not that they don't have any. You kind of see with them kind of putting that sniper with the bomb in hand, kind of even being in the back line. They're definitely not relying on a successful push over toward B. They're either relying on a dominant kind of rush toward that particular site, or maybe if things don't work out, they can kind of quickly transition that bomb over toward A, where it's exactly where Nihill is currently sitting. Not having any action over there for the moment, but quickly could change that. As they're looking through Glory's point of view, looking through midship, Nihill kind of challenges around the corner, takes out Hazard, and now it's time for them to get the bomb down. Question being, is the player right around the corner, player number 2, JPSicko, challenge this or not? Doesn't get the great timing, so a 3 versus 2 in favor of EvilWithin. We'll see how they try to rehold this site as Counterscale takes out Nihill.
Very patient plays out of the side of EvilWithin. Now at 2 versus 2 with 30 seconds remaining in the round. Let's just take a look at Phantom, who has been spotted here. It's going to get naded, so it's deciding to retreat from this position. Now, who is this player harassing him? Oh, JPSicko was trying to rush him, but gets the dirty gunny. As now a 2 versus 1, make that a 2 versus nothing. As the 2 kills going in favor here of Phantom. A 2-round advantage here for EvilWithin. Can NoName answer back now that they're heading back onto the offense?
And I think overall, from NoName in that situation, it's a 2-on-2, bombs planted. You have one kind of player lingering toward that backside head glitch. I think they honestly could have played that a little bit differently. They got one player to kind of sit onside the bomb and try to challenge that, but they don't really realize that Gloria is quickly going on a mid-flank. I mean, it's kind of like a position that isn't really called out. And when you're in a 2 versus 2, things can kind of get scattered. You don't really know where all the positioning is from the opposite team. But generally, I think they could have played that 2v2 just a little bit better. I think Glory, like I said, got an easy positioning on the flank and really kind of ruined any chances of them potentially going for a defuse there. But regardless, hopping into this next round, kills are happening fast. ProFeeZy is part of taking on half of the entire team, but JP responding here as well, takes out one as you find ourselves in a quick 2 versus 2. ProFeeZy trying to seek for at least a hat trick in this one as dreamcrazzy takes out Glory, and an ace is needed here from ProFeeZy if he expects to walk away with a round 3 victory.
Yikes. I mean, it was NoName that started with the first blood, but ProFeeZy really evening up the numbers. Let's see if he can get the ace, but the bomb is now down here from NoName. At least ProFeeZy has the information. They're over at this bomb site, but look at this. dreamcrazzy and Sicko are now separating, so ProFeeZy could be in the advantage, but now he gets in between both of them. So who is he going to face off against? JPSicko has the sights on him. No, ProFeeZy wins that gunfight.
Wow.
As dreamcrazzy was trying at least throw some nades off, but does not get the kill. So now 1 versus 1. dreamcrazzy, I believe, but ProFeeZy's on a roll. Can he get the ace?
He spots out dreamcrazzy as well. A big 1 versus 2 from ProFeeZy. Finishes off with the ace to solidify a 3rd round. Granite gets some great timing in that 1 versus 2. Has 2 players looking at either point of view. Kind of hops inside of the middle. Challenges one off the rush and kind of from the skies. No jetpacks needed in World War II for this man ProFeeZy. Just absolutely dominates and just totally takes over in that round. Definitely something that separates 2 of these teams. You see the fast reaction, the quick rotation being made from ProFeeZy. I mean, this guy, without question, is on a roll, and they're going to give him the bomb. They're going to give this guy the objective because they want that quick plant, and they want those streaks. And you see the smoke get tossed down as JPSicko actually takes out Glory in the sniper duel. That's the first time Glory's had anyone challenge him with the Kar 98K, or let alone any sniper rifle. And you see them toss out that smoke. That's actually a little bit of a bait. They're trying to go on a flank, and Counterscale takes out one. That's a big kill that he finds. But at the same time, ProFeeZy challenges it, earns the streaks. And ProFeeZy is now last alive here yet again. Has to do this one all by himself. And this will be an awkward task. JPSicko going for a pretty unorthodox, unnecessary challenge in this point of view, does fall. And now 2 players left to challenge, and FateHazard reveals his position. ProFeeZy could quite literally do this again.
Oh my god, 2 aces, you'd have to uninstall after that one. That's like, that's so bad. But ProFeeZy, now, wonder if he knows where dreamcrazzy
no,
is. He's looking
it.
for him, heard the shots.
Oh!
Does he turn his bird? No, dreamcrazzy wins it. Now also is able to get the defuse for the team. But god, that could have been the biggest choke I've ever seen. NoName had first, second, and third blood. So, or I think first and second blood and trades going back and forth should have not been left to a dire situation where ProFeeZy almost gets a second ace in the row. Nonetheless, after 3 consecutive rounds, NoName finally answered back.
But still, like, you literally, in a 1 versus 3, ProFeeZy takes out 2 of them. Like, you can't sacrifice enough, and that kind of goes to show the differential when it comes down to the overall score. Right now in this search and destroy, 3-1. I mean, this quite literally could be 4-0 after having man advantage. 2 out of the 3 rounds. Insane stuff, but ProFeeZy, like I said, nearly finishes off. Finishes off with 7 out of the 8 kills in the last 2 rounds, which obviously dictates the reason why he's at 10-3 after just 5 rounds or 4 rounds of play. And looking on here now, as we'll see NoName back on offense, kind of settling themselves or taking out ProFeeZy. So they've got that out of their mind. But they have to be keeping in consideration the streaks that at any moment could come from the skies. Nihill taking out JPSicko is obviously big for the momentum because they've got the preferred side of defense and now also have the man count in their favor. And another challenging happening. Phantomz takes down Hazard, and now 2 versus 4 streaks could come at any moment. And they also have that objective. Not a whole lot of positives right now if you are on the side of NoName.
Yeah, that was a really nice first blood nade out of Nihill to just get, I think it was somebody from NoName right onto the bomb site, but they're able to get the bomb down over at the complete other side. So although they don't have the man advantage, they have the objective advantage, but not looking so hot as dreamcrazzy's now left in another dire situation of being the last one left. But she's an extremely intelligent player now. Can she land the shots? Yes, she does. On to Glorios going for the defuse. Now has a task of defending from the defuse and also not dying, but that's not going to work out. Defuse now here in favor of EvilWithin, where they reach 4 rounds, 2-1, where NoName really struggling here.
And I believe it was dreamcrazzy who, in that last situation, I'm going to say is a kill and a half, maybe. I think 125 points off of streaks. And if she had a teammate to maybe bait for in that last round or to maybe even stay alive, I mean, they could be looking at streaks to be rocking with heading into round number 6, which, of course, they lose the round most likely either way. But if she's able to have a teammate kind of stay alive, maybe even gives the call out, hey, I need someone to bait for me, kind of come back, play off of my life, I mean, definitely things could go a different way. But for the most part, a round that only will be left into question, rather, as 4 rounds to 1. Yet again, another smoke being tossed over toward A. This time, it seems as it will be another bait. Bomb goes down, not in a fashion that the guys from EvilWithin would prefer, but I believe Glory and probably JP exchanging sniper shots from across the map, as I believe Glory not spawning anyone for the time being. But kills still happening up close. Nihill taking out Counterscale. Bomb picked up from Phantomz, and Nihill will escape for his life, only for the time being after being greeted some shots from dreamcrazzy. And you find ourselves in a 2 versus 2 objective in the hands of Phantomz, and also having the positioning of Glory right around the corner. Say goodbye to dreamcrazzy, say goodbye to JP, as we now will see a 5th round gain here from the guys on EvilWithin, and only 1 in response from NoName. 1 that was decided by a 1 versus 1 overall. This could quite literally be a 6-0 for EvilWithin. Like I said, Jen, NoName definitely struggling, but this will be a insane comeback if they're able to force this one into OT.
Yeah, like I said, pretty much a struggle, and FateHazard also starting most of this match 0-5, at least was able to get a kill into that last round, but playing 3v... yeah, I mean... kind of a hard stat line to deal with, kind of 3v4, and at least hopefully he's providing some information. Let's see if they can get the objective down at least. They've only had 2 plants in this entire game, as EvilWithin now 1 round separates them from moving on into our bracket after a pretty dominant win after the hardpoint. Now, can they make this a dominant win here onto the search and destroy? And they do start here with a first blood onto dreamcrazzy. Now 3 versus 3 streaks being reined in, and what's most important is that now they do have information on where the rest of NoName are, which are inside the ship and also at the other side of the bomb. It's ProFeeZy now evening up the numbers, now putting them in the advantage heading into this round. 47 seconds remain, and JP and FateHazard now have to deal with this and be extremely cautious and see if they can get this objective down.
They need the teammate support, but here comes some more streaks. The fighter pilot just trying to delay as much as possible, even if these don't find kills and don't even gain information, as the only player that you can really be revealed right now is Fate Hazard, of course, with rocking Airborne, but they're just trying to delay as long as possible, and that's exactly what they're doing, and it's working out very, very well. Phantomz shuts down Hazard, and now JP, left in a 1 versus 3, will be greeted with a sniper rifle shot to the face, as this one will end out 6-1. With a obviously good start here from Glory, the guy who I was talking about heading into US's Texas. Doesn't get a whole lot of action with that sniper rifle, but obviously finds the one that matters the most there at the end. But kind of 2 players that I was talking about heading into US's Texas, and I think for maybe even future rounds of this tournament, a lot of teams have to be wary of this EvilWithin roster on this particular map, because I was discussing the ability of ProFeeZy on this map is incredibly high, because that SMG kind of up-close fights, we obviously see what he nearly did in the 1 versus 3 and obviously did in that 1 versus 2, but generally he was the guy who was kind of finding those second, third kills, had a lot of obviously highlight moments in that match, but you know, for the most part it was also Phantomz who's playing incredibly sound as well, and a lot of people aren't really familiar with this guy named Phantomz, of course, on the EvilWithin organization. From my knowledge, I know he was kind of a search and destroy player for the most part, but I know was kind of officially brought onto this team after kind of scrimming with them, playing in a few tournaments, a lot of OLTs. Was kind of brought onto this group after I believe ProFeeZy ended up spawning him in one of the local lands, kind of started getting into you know, some matches with him and started playing with him in some tournaments and whatnot. And obviously he's now playing with the guy on this organization here. So obviously played very sound when it came down to the S&D. Very curious to see when it kind of progresses with this EvilWithin roster as far as the tournament is considered, how Phantomz plays, because I think this guy is incredibly sound for the most part, plays well in hardpoint, search and destroy. He's kind of Mr. Consistent when it comes down to this group, and you know, while guys like ProFeeZy, Glory will have their games, he's kind of the guy who's always kind of in that second position, in that third position, doing work with the assault rifles, and obviously did work with the FG in map 1 and as well here in map number 2 on USS Texas. But any takeaways when it came down to this particular series here, Jen? Obviously, we saw some good moments from NoName. I believe it was Hazard who was having some good moments in the hardpoint, had some pretty highlight moments in the Arden Forest as well. But generally, any kind of counterpoints when it came down to this particular series for NoName?
For NoName, I think what I mentioned before back into the hardpoint, that EvilWithin can play the number disadvantage a lot better. So you saw ProFeeZy clutching an ace once and almost a second ace, means they're just able to play the numbers when they're at the disadvantage. And the ProFeeZy, like you already mentioned, has been playing amazingly, and the double-digit stat line really proves so in the S&D. But really, Glorio and Nihill dropping the 40 bombs in the hard point, and also having pretty impressive stat lines and streaks into that S&D. So I'm just getting the feeling they've been teaming for a long time, or at least have the synergy already there. I don't really know much about these players, but was really looking forward to see NoName putting on a better show than that. But it's okay. I still think she's one of the best female players, and she'll do great in the FPL, but hopefully with a better team in the next UMG tournament.
Oh yeah, I think it's fair to say dreamcrazzy, of course, one of the kind of pioneers of the women kind of rush onto Call of Duty esports. Of course, making her name quite a few times when it comes down to the Call of Duty esports scene. It's obviously very nice to kind of hop into her matches from time to time here, of course, on UMG Gaming. But kind of guys, that's obviously going to close out this particular series. EvilWithin do win this one in a pretty dominant way, 2-0, as this quarterfinal does come to a close. But of course, more matches to come. We have some, like I said, a number of awesome teams competing in it tonight's tournament.